A surprising statement has emerged from the MotoGP paddock as Alex Marquez suddenly spoke out about the future of his brother, Marc Márquez, and his comments immediately caught Ducati's boss off guard. Amid intense speculation surrounding Marc's career as it enters a crucial phase, Alex delivered an unexpected signal, hinting at a major decision currently under consideration. Could this be a sign that Marc Márquez is preparing to take a drastic step that might shake up the MotoGP landscape next season? Let's discuss. In a statement that is now widely discussed among the MotoGP community, Alex Márquez emphasized that no one can truly determine when Marc Márquez will retire, except Marc himself. This reinforces the idea that the future of the world champion is not in the hands of the team, management, or external pressure, but entirely dependent on his personal decision. According to Alex, retirement is not something that can be simplified based solely on age or public expectations. More than that, it involves a complex combination of physical condition, fitness levels after multiple injuries, internal motivation, and emotional connection to the sport that has defined his career. He explained that as long as the desire to compete still burns and his body remains capable of meeting the demands of top-level racing, retirement will not be a priority. As long as he still feels capable and still wants to race, stepping away is simply not an option. That is essentially the message being conveyed. This statement has sparked a new wave of speculation among fans and analysts. Many who previously believed that Marc would soon retire are now reconsidering their assumptions. In fact, this opens up the possibility that his MotoGP career could continue longer than expected, depending on how he evaluates himself with each passing season. Discussing the possibility of retirement cannot be separated from understanding who Marc Márquez truly is. With 9 world titles, including 7 in the Premier MotoGP class, he has gone beyond being just a rider and has become a true icon in modern motorcycle racing history. His career has been built on near unmatched dominance at his peak, highlighted by dramatic comebacks that showcase a champion's mentality, as well as extraordinary resilience in overcoming challenges on the track. However, behind all those achievements, reality remains a factor that cannot be ignored. Since the major crash he suffered in 2020, Marc has endured a long and difficult battle with recurring and complex injuries. The impact is still being felt entering the 2026 season, affecting his consistency and competitiveness at the highest level. This condition has raised doubts among observers and fans alike regarding how much his body can still withstand the extreme demands of elite competition like MotoGP, and whether he can maintain the high standards that have long defined him. Amid heavy criticism of his performances with Ducati, various speculations have surfaced, ranging from claims of declining motivation to suggestions that he is struggling to adapt to his new bike. However, a different perspective was offered by former MotoGP team manager Livio Suppo, who believes the root of the issue is not mental. He emphasized that Marc's physical condition remains the key factor that has not fully recovered. Marc is reportedly still dealing with the effects of past injuries, particularly in his shoulder, which became problematic again toward the end of the 2025 season. Although he has returned to the track and remains competitive, his recovery process has yet to reach an ideal state. At the level of competition as intense as MotoGP, even the slightest physical imperfection can have major consequences, from less than optimal braking and reduced bike control to slightly slower reflexes. These factors can also indirectly impact a rider's confidence when facing critical moments on the track. Ducati is often the primary target of criticism when performance falls short of expectations, but the reality on track reveals a far more complex picture. Not every rider struggles with the desmosedici. Some, like Fabio Di Giannantonio, have managed to perform quite competitively, showing that the bike still has significant potential when approached in the right way. This makes it clear that the issue cannot be attributed solely to the motorcycle itself. What's happening is the result of several interconnected factors. Marc's physical condition is one of the most crucial elements, especially considering his long history of injuries, which inevitably affects his performance at the highest level. In addition, adapting to Ducati's characteristics, very different from his previous bike, requires time and a level of adjustment that is far from simple. On top of that, the immense pressure of expectations as a world champion further complicates the situation. The standards set for Marc are always extremely high, so when results don't meet expectations, it is quickly perceived as a significant decline in performance, even though the reality is much more nuanced. Competition in MotoGP has become increasingly fierce, demanding a much higher level of perfection compared to just a few years ago. This makes the challenges Marc Márquez faces even more complex, especially as a new generation of riders like Pedro Acosta begins to showcase extraordinary potential and compete fearlessly at the top level. At the same time, major manufacturers such as Aprilia, KTM, and Ducati continue to make significant progress, both technologically and in on-track performance. The combination of aggressive young talent and rapid technical advancements has raised the competitive standard even higher. Joining the Ducati Lenovo team has certainly opened up a major opportunity for Márquez to compete again at the highest level, but it also brings challenges that cannot be underestimated. He is not only required to adapt to the Des Mercedes' distinct riding style, but also to understand entirely new technical approaches and setups within a relatively short time. The pressure intensifies with expectations from both the public and the team, who are hoping for immediate results, even victories, from the outset. In a situation where his physical condition is not yet fully ideal, this adaptation process becomes far more complex, requiring a delicate balance between caution and aggression. A major question now arises. Is this the early sign of a permanent decline in Marc Márquez's career, or merely a temporary difficult phase? Looking at his track record, Marc is not the type of rider who easily collapses under pressure or adversity. Throughout his MotoGP career, he has repeatedly proven his ability to bounce back from seemingly impossible situations. In this context, the most crucial factor is not mentality or experience, but achieving optimal physical condition. On the other hand, Ducati is not standing still in the face of these dynamics. The Italian manufacturer has begun preparing long-term strategic steps by developing the Des Mercedes GP27 in response to major regulation changes set to be introduced in the 2027 MotoGP season. These new regulations will bring significant transformation, including a reduction in engine capacity from 1,000 cubic centimetres to 850 cubic centimetres, effectively forcing all teams to start from scratch in terms of technical development and bike characteristics. Initial testing has already been conducted at the Misano by test rider Michele Pirro. This new generation bike is seen as a key element that could potentially open the door for Marc's resurgence in a new MotoGP era, where the balance between rider ability and technological innovation will once again be the defining factor. So what do you think? Will Márquez make a major decision like retirement in the near future? Or can he still rise again and return to the top of MotoGP? Share your thoughts below.